All right, so welcome to another episode of my Leveraging Your Voice podcast. Today I have another special guest with me, and this one is, I was going to say otherworldly, but I'll say other countryly. I don't know if that's a word. Is that a word? Other countryly? I don't think so, but I'm going with it. I'm Paul with PR Vocal Coaching, and let's see, why don't you share your name?
Marina Alex.
Marina Alex. And you are not from the States. You are from where?
I moved from Russia, Moscow, to Knoxville, Tennessee, in the United States.
That's awesome. And that wasn't that long ago, was it?
It was about 4 years ago.
All right. And tell everyone how long you've been speaking English, because no one's going to believe you when you tell them, because you speak it too well.
Thank you. I think last 6 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I didn't speak before.
So all your life you didn't speak English, and then 6 years ago you started speaking English, and you're this good at it.
Thank you. Because I had a purpose. I had a mission to explain what I do in English, right?
That's awesome. All right. Well, I know you through LinkedIn, and I follow you on LinkedIn, and I like to read your stuff and all that sort of thing. And doing that, I thought to myself, well, I should bring her on here, because this podcast is about helping guests share their passion and service with the world by helping them leverage their voice here on this podcast. So I thought you'd be a perfect person to ask to join me. And I was lucky that you said yes. So thank you for that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask a couple of questions about your background so people can get to know you a little bit. And then we'll talk a little bit about the agile work that you do, if all of that's okay with you.
Sure.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Russia, because you were born there and grew up there, and just talk a little bit about that so we get a sense of your background.
Yeah. First of all, I think I'm very unusual agile coach because I don't have any IT background. I became an agile coach 12 years ago, and before I was an executive in a huge bank, sales executive. I came from sales, and I started implement agile in sales. This is what I've done for the last 12 years, right? And now I'm helping small and medium organizations. That's why I've never worked with IT teams. And I love sales. I love marketing. And many people in our agile community, they know me as an agile in sales expert, right? But now it's an agile in SMB expert. It was my transition.
Excellent. And you did most of that work over in Russia, where you were in sales and that sort of thing. And then you switched over to agile there as well.
Yeah, I was an agile coach there, I think in like 12 years ago or 13 years ago, but outside of IT. But then, because I was the first in the world who applied agile in sales, I started travel around the world, like UK, the United States, South Africa, everywhere, and help other companies to apply agile in sales. And I worked with 21 countries so far. And I implement agile outside of IT in 34 industries so far. It's my background. It's my story.
That's a good background. And where'd you move to when you came over to the States?
I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, because I had a contract with local company, TV company, and I helped them to make $20 million extra. They were very happy, and I was very happy to move to the United States because I love this place. We have 4 seasons. It's just a wonderful place to live. I like it.
Awesome. And you had said earlier when we were just getting to know each other that one of the reasons that you like living here is because it aligns with one of your highest values. And what was that you mentioned?
My highest value, are you talking about passion, right? Or
I was talking about when you talked about freedom being one of the highest values.
Yeah. I moved to the United States because one of my personal main value is freedom, right? And in Russia, we don't have freedom. And in the United States, freedom is a big part of the culture, right? That's why I'm very aligned with the American culture. I feel very comfortable and safe here. And freedom, it's something very important for me.
Yeah. When we live here all our lives, we often forget that. But when we meet people who didn't grow up here and they see it for what it is, it's much easier to notice.
Yeah, if you don't happy in the United States, I would suggest you to go to other countries and just spend 1 month there and then come back and you'll see, oh my gosh, this is the best country in the world.
I love that. All right, great. Well, I've lived here all my life. I like it. I don't want to go anywhere else other than to travel, but I like it here. And so I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. And I know you're doing a lot of good work with agility. And I like that concept of you've always used Agile outside of IT, not necessarily in IT. So you're an Agile coach who doesn't know very much about IT or isn't an IT expert.
Yeah, I learned a lot from the best agile experts in the world, like Jeff Sutherland, Mike Biddle, business agility expert Evan Laburn, right? I had an amazing mentors. I learned from them, but I applied all my knowledge and adapt them outside of IT. Usually it was sales, marketing, and executive teams, right? Now it's dentists, hotels, restaurants, every company I can see, I can help them, right? And I call it blue ocean
Yeah.
because they need us.
Well, talk a
They-
little bit about that change that happened because you were working in much bigger organizations. And then there was a lot of things that happened in the industry connected to Agile. So just talk about that change, what happened to you, your story there, and the happy accident that got you to where you're at today.
Yeah, I would say I had two accidents, right? The first one, I think it was in 2022 when my contract with the TV company, local TV company was finished, right? And I couldn't find a job as a or clients as agile in sales experts almost for 2 years, right? I think it was in 2021, and 2 years I couldn't find any clients. And I spent all my savings. I sold almost all my stocks, and I couldn't believe that nobody want to buy agile in sales anymore because before I made a lot of money by that, right? My average contract was $200,000 and I had several in the same time, right? And suddenly I found myself that I don't have money, nobody buy me, and I thought something wrong with me. What's wrong with me, right? But then I realized that something happened in agile industry, and it's not about me, it's about the industry, right? My mistake was that I didn't adapt very quickly, and I was stubborn, right? It was pretty expensive experience for me. I wish I adapt much quicker, right? But when I adapt, because I didn't have another choice, right? I decide, okay, what can I do? What I'm the best in, right? I'm a great business coach, right? I'm a great agile coach, right? But nobody hire agile coaches anymore. And I learned by myself how to sell my service in small and medium organizations just because, Paul, I just needed to have a quick cash to pay my rent, right? That's why I understood, okay, I can go to local companies, sell them something for $5,000 and just cover some of my basic needs, right? And then I sold one consulting for $5,000. Then I sold another one for $10,000, for $15,000, and I realized, wow, this is cool. First of all, I can make money. But on the other hand, I think the biggest thing is that they're so small, like 25 people or 50 people, right? Where you can change them very quickly. And everything what you implement, they first of all, they're happy to do everything what you say, right? You can help them achieve their results very quickly, and everybody happy. And you enjoy because you see as agile coach results. It's not easy to see your results in huge organizations, right? And at the same time, you have very quickly income because you don't need to spend 7 months like I did before for huge contracts.
Much shorter sales cycle,
Yeah, much.
much happier crew to work with, and much quicker and more evident outcomes.
Yeah.
So that was a good move by you. And you had described it as an accident. You weren't thinking that's what you were going to do, and then there it was.
Yeah, and I decided, okay, wonderful. I'm going to just serve my local companies, right? And in July 2024, I saw in LinkedIn every single day a lot of posts from other agile coaches. Like, I lost my job, I didn't have money to pay my mortgage and all this stuff. And I wrote a post in blue t-shirt like, hey guys, Agile for SMB is a blue ocean. This is how I survive. This is how I make money every single day. Just go and help them. They need you, right? And I had 40,000 views, and I had only 4,000 followers in this time. And everybody started, Marina, please teach me. Please explain. I've never sell anything. I don't know how to sell. And I created my course, and now it's a separate business, right? It was the second accident because I created this way academy, and I'm teaching other agile coaches how to be modern management experts and work outside of IT.
Well, that's a good story too. Both of those are your two happy accidents.
Yeah.
They both turned out really, really nicely. Now, that's not to say you got to pay attention or that you can stop paying attention, because you may have to make another detour somewhere along the way. We never know, but hopefully it won't take as long next time.
Yeah, yeah. First accident wasn't very happy when you don't have money to pay for your food.
Right.
It was difficult. But now I think I'm happy that I had this experience because I understand other agile coaches, and I talked with top 50, the best, the most wealthy agile coaches. And some of them, they're driving Uber right now. And before they made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I think it can be very hard mentally to jump down so much in your career.
Now, it's amazing that the appetite for agile coaching changed so drastically. And I'm curious, what thoughts do you have on why that happened? Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I think I have two opinions about that. The first one, that first of all, we probably did an amazing job as agile coaches for last 25 years, and we helped many IT companies. They don't need us anymore because they're agile, right? This is my hypothesis, right? This is why they don't hire anybody, because they have local agile coaches, for example. The second hypothesis is that we did terrible work, right? And they think that agile is something that doesn't work at all, and they don't believe in that, right? And this is my second hypothesis. I don't know which one is right? But I'm sure that the problem of agile community is that for the last 25 years, huge companies like Scrum.org, Scrum Alliance, Agile Alliance, they didn't promote Agile outside of IT. We were very focusing on Agile in IT. And when we had cases where we applied Agile in healthcare and we saved lives, they didn't accept us as the speakers because it was outside of IT, right? That's why the problem is that businesses, they don't know that Agile exists outside of IT, and they think that it's something for developers only, and it's a huge industry mistake.
Yeah, now that's good. And both of those options are interesting. I think it's maybe a little bit of both of those things at the same time, because I feel like these larger companies have, for the most part, already integrated the basic agile concepts. I mean, they have smaller teams, they do releases far more often, they have turned their attention to the customer far greater than any time they have in the past. So some of those basic concepts about that drove agile from the beginning to take us out of the industrial age were necessary, and all that had to happen. But now they're sort of built into a lot of things that happen. And what's interesting is, in those big organizations, businesses say, oh, what is agile? We don't know what it is. But they've also changed and taken on a lot of the aspects of agility as well, whether they say it or not.
Yeah.
They've become much more customer focused. They become much more focused on delivering little bits of value as they go. So I think there's been a massive shift in the larger companies. And we can argue, some companies have done it really, really well. And some companies say, hey, I've done it, but they're not so good at it. And we can talk about all that. But for the most part, there's a lot of that in there. So the question then becomes, well, how does Agile mature in these larger companies? And what does that look like in these smaller companies? And I think as I observe the work you do, it's interesting because, and I want to talk about this next, the work you're doing in the small companies, this kind of work actually is what needs to be applied in the larger companies too, very specifically. Because in all the agility that has been incorporated into the larger organizations, one of the things that hasn't been integrated is a real good handle on metrics and how do you prove your value. And we can talk about DORA metrics and stuff like that, but that's not what, connects us to value. So I want to ask you a little bit, in your system, how do you deal with metrics? Because I know that you're big on metrics, and even in the articles that you write, and I know in the course that you are sharing with people, you talk a lot about, hey, you've got to be able to demonstrate that you're providing value, like with real numbers, objective data. You can't just say, do you feel better? Okay, pay me. That's not going to work. So talk to us a little bit about your feelings about that and how it works and what you're doing.
It's a very good question because business hired any business consultants or coaches for one reason, to increase profit or increase revenue, right? Not because they're bored, for example, right? Okay, we had the situation when it was like, one company does Agile, let's do it as well, right? It was, but it doesn't work anymore, right? That's why, okay, how we can measure our value, what we're doing, because usually Agile coaches, they had very good salaries, right? Okay, if your salary, for example, $300,000 per year, right? You must generate at least $1 million for this company, right? Other way, why they should have you, right? And the problem of this market, that Agile market, I would say, that we didn't measure our impact of Agile transformation in dollars, in revenue or profit, right?
Now that's been a long living problem.
Yeah, but why we had this problem? Because I think in our Scrum Masters or product owners workshops, it should be one of the main topics, right? How to measure your impact, how to communicate with managers, how to show that you exist. Because again, I have many friends who are executives, enterprise, agile coaches. And when I ask them, hey guys, do you work with C-level, like sales, marketing, CEO, general managers? And they, no, we don't. How you can be the head of agile transformation without involving sales, marketing, and other executives? It's just impossible, right? That's why, to come back to your question, I think every single agile coach who really want to have job next 5 years, you should do only two things. First, measure in dollars or other money your impact, and the second thing, to help with AI to organization. If you don't know how to do both, you're not going to find the job next 5 months. It's clear, right? That's why you need to learn how to measure. Even if you work in IT, right, you can understand what is your impact for the business, right?
Now, when you talk about that, I 100% agree. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because you talk about metrics as an agile coach, and I think not enough people do. There has to be, here's the work I'm doing and here's its measurable return. And as you said, it better not just equal what you're getting paid. I think it has to be 10x what you're doing.
Yep.
So when we think about that, what kind of measurements do you think about and that you might share with these folks that come and take your class? Because I'd hate to think that somebody comes to your class and you tell them, hey, you got to go measure, but you don't tell them how to do that. That would be rough.
No. In my class, we really jump to real financial reports, and I teach them how to explore real data in organization. Based on this data, measure everything, right? We don't have time for that, but I will give you some very simple examples. Like, okay, you're a Scrum Master, you're not Agile coach yet, right? You came to one team and they had, everyday meetings, right? And you reduced those meetings, and now they have only 3 meetings per week because they have 1 week sprints, they have planning session and demo and retrospective in the end, right? And before they had, for example, every single day, like 7 hours of meetings, and you reduced it for 2, right? You took away 5 hours of meeting for 7 people, right? And you can count how much money you saved them, right? Because they were sitting in those meetings, and each meeting has price. You can have those salaries, right? This knowledge, like what is their average salary, average per hour. And then you have a price for this meeting, right? You help them work, not just sitting, right? That's why you basically help them make this money, and you can count how much money it will be per year, right? As a Scrum Master, you can tell them, hey guys, now because we became more efficient, we saved, I don't know, $100,000 per whatever, per year, right? This is something very simple to measure, right? Then velocity, then like you have so many different things, right? But I think what you can do is just can go to manager and your manager and say, hey, what is your top 3 problems, right? And usually they will tell you about their problems. Then, okay, what is your top main KPIs for this project? And they will tell you their KPIs because their bonus depends on these KPIs. And your job as an Agile coach or Scrum Master to help them achieve their KPIs and measure those KPIs in your team. Usually it's relevant to revenue, right? Or you decided, okay, you helped the company to go to market faster, 2 months faster, and sell this product faster. You can go to sales department and explore a price for this product and really count, okay, you helped them make money for 2 months more, right? They sold this amount of money. You count this money, you come back to your team and say, hey guys, because we came faster to this market, like 2 months faster, our team made this amount of money for this organization. Simple, right? But you need to be very business oriented and business focused, not just implement Scrum or SAFe or DevOps, because it's not what they need. They need to achieve their goals. You need to understand their goals, right? And help them achieve them.
Now, that's a great answer. When you started with the cost saving measurements, those are great, but I was hoping you weren't going to stop there.
Yeah.
But you didn't, which was even better, because that's something that people have done in the past to some extent, but it isn't meaningful like, hey, here's your business KPIs, and now that we've done this, this, and this, do you see the change in those? That's a direct correlation to the work we've done.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's where really powerful measurements come from.
Yeah, because you can save money or you can make money. But if you save money, you can understand, okay, how much money I help this organization save for next 5 years. And it will be this amount of money. And then you go to C-level and say, hey guys, I'm a Scrum Master. My name is John. By the way, just for a couple of sprints, we helped this organization save $5 million. And you know what? You will have attention. They're like, oh, say it again? Oh, really? What else can you do? What is your name? John? John, come on, help us. Bingo, right? But our Agile coaches and Scrum Masters, they never speak like this in business language with other departments, right? They're speaking about Agile Manifesto was created in 2021. This is mindset. Please remember that framework, Scrum, it's framework. It's not method. It's very important. You know what? I'm sorry, Agile people. It's not important for them at all. They don't care, right? They care about results. And we have to learn how to speak in this language.
You know, you're making me smile, as you can see, because everybody who might watch this who knows me knows I say those very things all the time. And so they're going to be chuckling.
Yeah.
Someone else go, hey, someone else says the same thing.
Because we have debates, even
oh my goodness,
framework or method. Like, are you kidding me? And now we have a debate: is Agile dead or not? Are you kidding me? Like, hey, let's focus on how we can make things happen and explain this world that we're valuable. We can help so many companies. No, we will have debates if Agile dead or not. Really?
Right. Now, it's funny. This year, one of the things I've done is, if somebody wants to debate a particular thing, my comment is, well, we can go out of the business for dinner or something, and we can debate that all we want. But while we're here, this is what we're doing. It's not a debate. We're just doing this, and let's end up with an outcome.
Yeah.
Because all those conversations don't get us anywhere.
Yeah, because debates never help, right? Where is solution? Why we should focus on the problem? Let's think about solution. What we should do to make Agile alive? What we can do as a community to support our Agile coaches and help them to have a job.
Now, when you go into a small company, say, no company is small. Every company is big to the people that run it. And so when you go into a company that's the size of, say, as you mentioned, 25 to 50 people, do you find a warm reception and they're all just wide open? Or as in big companies, do you have, okay, these people are really into this, these people don't want to do it, these people are looking at me like they hate me? Do you see that sort of thing in the smaller businesses that you're working with?
It's a good question. First of all, my audience, which I'm working with, right? First of all, for me, it's important their revenue per year, right? And usually it's $2 million till, I don't know, 50, 10, usually 10, right? And not more than 200 people, right? But I don't work with startups because they don't have those problems. Talking about my clients, right? They are hungry for help because they have problems, right? They have problem with profit. For example, in restaurant business, they have profit 6%. If you help them with lean and increase their efficiency and cut their cost and increase their profit, they will be completely happy. The second problem after profit is people, right? Because traditional management doesn't work right now with different generations, especially with young generation, right? 25 years old people, 18 years old people, they don't want to be managed by boss. For them, it's like, what is that, right? And cross-functional or self-management teams, it's a solution, right, for them, and they don't know that it exists. Anyway, but they have the second problem with people. That's why when you meet them and say, hey, Paul, what is your business? And you'll tell me, Marina, I have 5 dentist clinics, or lawyer, I have 25 lawyers under me, right? I'm not going to tell you, Paul, I have Agile and Safe. You have to do it. It's so amazing. No, I will ask, Paul, tell me about your problems. Like, what is your main problems right now? And you'll tell Marina, 1, 2, 3. And after that, I'll tell you, hey, I have a solution. I helped many companies last 10 years with the same problems. I can help you, right? And they're hungry. And the beauty is that for them, time is money. That's why they want to implement all new ideas as fast as possible. In big organizations, they don't rush because they're big and slow, right? I have one company right now. I know how it's happened with me. They came to me and I decided to help them. Oh my gosh, they're big, right? And I'm helping with an executive level, right? It took 7 months for them to pay my invoice. 7 months, right? Because they asked some documents back and forward. And I was like, really? It's just unbelievable how you're going to survive if your financial department is so slow, right? And there are no digital transformation inside and a lot of manual work, right? That's why to answer for a question, they are willing to change. That's why they will have results so quickly. After 5 weeks, they can have results. After 3 months, you can transform completely a small organization.
Awesome. Where do people go to find you? Because some people are going to watch this and say, hey, I want to learn more from her and maybe join one of her courses or something like that. Where do they go?
Yeah, find me in LinkedIn, Marina Alex, because I didn't update my website because, again, I'm busy making money. It's my job, right? But when you're working with clients, you don't have time for website. They don't need it, right? If they know you. That's why LinkedIn is the best way to find me. And if you watch this wonderful conversation, please text me and say, hey, I watched you with Paul and it was amazing.
Well, I think they will say that because you've been an amazing guest. I appreciate it very much. And I think you have a lot to share. I love listening to you talk about agile things and applying Agile to the business to get out of this mindset that says we're an IT coach and to get into the business. For everyone who's watching who is in a big organization, the application of what we're talking about here is you're probably in IT. Get IT to speak business language and let them speak in a way for every product they're working on that connects it to the business outcomes. And if you can do that, you'll be invaluable even at a big company.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at. So that I think is spot on. Anything you want to leave everybody with before we finish up here today?
I would say that if you really decided one day to be an agile coach many years ago, it means that you love people and you love to serve people and make great teams, right? And help them a lot. Don't forget about your passion. Go and do it, even if nobody hire you right now. Don't believe them. Just trust me. Businesses, they need you. They just don't know that you exist. Go find them and explain them what you do and how you can help them, but don't give up with your faith, with your mission, right? Because when I couldn't find a job and everybody told Marina, you're a great marketer, you're great sales, you have to find a job and be a sales executive again, right? Sometimes I was very close to give up, but I didn't. And I'm very happy that I didn't. And I told myself, no, I will do what I love and I will be Agile coach, even if I don't call myself Agile coach anymore.
Well, you did it, and that's good. And I'm proud of you for that. It's a good story. It's a great story. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. And folks, thank you for joining us. There's many episodes of my Leveraging Your Voice podcast that you can watch. Again, I'm Coach Paul with PR Vocal Coaching. And if you struggle speaking with confidence, I can help you speak with confidence in just 8 weeks. And it'll transform your life if you struggle with confidence in speaking. So if you're an Agile coach or in IT, that means you're really smart. But if you struggle sharing how smart you are with people, and you struggle with giving them the message that's in your heart because it just fumbles on the way out, reach out to me at prvocalcoaching.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn as well, and be happy to talk to you and help you with that. Okay, Marina, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a super pleasure getting to talk to a kindred spirit about what we should be doing in Agile. Has been so much fun for me, I can't tell you. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. And I love what you do because our Agile coaches, they need self-confidence when they're talking with the executives.
It's a whole thing. If they're going to go out and sell, they need to be able to use their voice for the right reasons. So awesome. All right. So thank you for joining us. And folks, thanks for joining in and watching. You know, the simplest thing to do to help people is to hit the little like button. So if you're watching this, it's free to hit the like button. Go ahead and click that. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, bye for now.